years back, I was courting this woman, hitting her with the old, oh, Johnny Bravo special. I'm going to compliment her until she gives up the goods. I was having a good time, and it was working. I was wearing her down, beating down her bushels. So I decided to send a few of her family members on her Facebook, a few friend requests. Maybe I could learn the family, learn some interpersonal dark secrets about her, figure out the inner machinations of her mind. That was my thought process. So I was going through, hitting her father, hitting her mother, hitting her brother, hitting her sister, but we had a deep falling out. It was horrifying. And lo and behold, I'm pretty sure she told her family to not even bother with me in any capacity. Hate every second of me. It's okay. Fine and dandy. Failed talking stages aren't really that bad. However, I sent a friend request to somebody I didn't quite suspect. I sent a friend request to an older woman who looks like she travels, enjoys brunches, has a good time, very rockin' bod. I accidentally sent a friend request to the mother of her mother. That's right, grandma friend request, sent it right to her. And the friend request was accepted immediately after we stopped talking. I'm confused. Maybe they have a sour relationship. Maybe they hate each other. I don't know what's going on. Maybe they're vindicated enemies. Maybe they're arch nemesis. Who knows? The antithesis of each other. I have no clue. And then I just let the friend request go through. I just let it sit there. We're now friends. She's heart reacting a few of my posts, laughing and saying, "You're a funny guy. I like your hair. Don't know what's going on." Turns out she thinks I'm some famous comedian. Now, by you, I don't have that big of a following on Facebook, or didn't at the time. I was just kind of minding my black business and posting whatever I felt like, posting silly memes, and she'd be sharing them. It was strange to witness, very odd. Until one day, 6 days into us being friends and me just casually sharing memes, she messaged me and said, "Why did you send me your friend request? Are you perhaps one of those Nigerian prince scams? Haha." I saw this message and I was immediately elated. I was super excited. I said, "You know what? I'm not. I want to tell you who I am, and I'll explain very vividly. I know your granddaughter." That's pretty much what was going on there. I didn't explain the entire situation. I was very manipulative with this. I didn't want to lose out on one of the people that were liking all of my posts because it made me get some form of gratification. I didn't want to lose that gratification. I really didn't. And she said, "You seem fun. Let's be friends. Would you like to get coffee?" Coffee? Well, I'm not a caffeine aficionado. I don't drink that much coffee. But for you, I'll stain my teeth. I'll go crazy for it. I'll see what's going on here. So we link up at the local coffee shop because she's in the city. Great time. And she comes in, and I didn't suspect how short she was. She had that old people spine thing going on where the older you get, the shorter you are. She was 4 foot. That's it. There's no extra inches to that. She was 4 feet. That's what the entirety was going on. I said, whoa, she's tiny. She didn't look tiny in all the photos. She looked like she was Saturday about 6'4". Maybe it's the heels or maybe it's the angle of the camera. I'm not quite sure, but the angle of the earth in real life, you can tell that the earth is definitely a sphere because the rotation of how short she was psychotic. So I'm looking down at her and I say, "Hey there, how are you doing?" I'm about to get down on my knees. She said, "Don't patronize me, boy. Let's get some coffee." I said, "Oh, assertive. You'll love to see it." So we're talking about the deep, interesting aspects of her life. And I recommend, if you've never spoken to an old person at length, you will discover Beowulf level tales, Dante's Divine Comedy. You'll discover tales of the Bible. I'm asking her if she knew the dinosaurs, and she said she high-fived Gandhi. So much lore in this person because that's a lot of years. That's a lot of years on a person. That's a lot of time spent. And they could make up stuff and just say stuff. They could say, "Yeah, I gave Elvis a peanut butter and banana sandwich." I'm not going to doubt you. You're 100 years old. Why would I even question that? Who knows what's going on in this lifetime? So I'm discovering all this stuff about this granny. Life is going great. Life is good. She's telling me things that I never would have known about the existence, the boredom of relationships, the horror she had with men in her life, and how evil they were, and how the trad wife is a scam. I said, "What? Trad wife is a scam?" She said, I say, "Is it?" She says, "Yeah." Because no woman back in the day really wanted to be inside the household. They wanted to travel, explore the world. But they were stuck because nowadays we have the internet, and that's why I travel so much. Now we got to answer to the traveling. Got to answer to why all of her photos are her just going across the world, because her husband died and she got all the money. 300K in life insurance. He's been using that money to just go travel, have a good time, going to Thailand, going to Japan, going to China, a lot of Asian countries, by the way. I don't know why that is. She got a thing for Asians. But then she going to Africa, she going to Bahamas, she going to Caribbean, she going to the Congo. By the way, horrifying things going on in the Congo right now. Don't know if you know what's going on there. It's horrifying issues going on in the Congo. That's a very serious issue. But outside of that, we don't care about that right now. We care about the fun of this adventure. And she's telling me all this stuff, and she's halfway through her first coffee, and she's noticing that I didn't get a coffee. And I say, sorry, I don't drink coffee. And she says, why did you agree to get coffee then? I said, well, I just wanted to hang out with you. She says, we could have just hanged out anywhere you want to. We can go back to my place. I said, okay, let's go back to your place. So we go back to her place. Oh, it's great. Oh my goodness. There's so many critters floating about. There's so many animals. A beautiful garden. I said, who does your garden? She said, she does. I said, oh, you active. Oh my goodness, she get busy work. She a busybody. I didn't know what was going on here. She says, yeah, I just got to make sure I stay active. Don't want to lose my mind. Don't want my brain to turn to oatmeal. You know what I mean? I said, I understand keeping active and keeping doing that. And I see 3 puzzles. 2 of them complete, third one being worked on. And then I see so much food, meal prep being laid out. And I said, you do all this yourself? She says, yeah. I have 24 hours in a day. And most of the time I use it just learning things. And she has a big TV in the kitchen to where she has informative life skill stuff, life hacks and things of that variety. And she has an Amazon thing on her fridge where she can order stuff. And I'm like, whoa, you're really advanced. She says, yeah, just learning things. I didn't have this ability and freedom to do this. I try to stay as efficient as possible. The organization of this old lady was outstanding. I loved every second of it. So we're hanging out, and she ends up lighting a bonfire in the back of her house. We're having a good time just talking, exchanging stories. And she's curious about my life. So I haven't been explaining how I've been living my life, and I explain the horrors of my life. And she says, you live so much to be so young. And I cried on her shoulder. And she was very warm and very nice and very sweet. She gave me a kiss on the forehead, and I finally had a true mother figure. Life was good. A few days after that, we hang out again and again and again and again. And then she invites me out to a family dinner. She says she's meeting up with members of her family. Now, I was so engrossed in this friendship that I forgot how I met her. I forgot how I met your grandmother. I really did. I didn't know what was going on. So I, bada bing, bada boom, pop up in my Sunday best. Got my suit and tie on. Everything's going great. I'm thinking everything's fine. Lo and behold, I end up seeing the very woman who this all started with there. She says, oh my God, are you stalking me? I said, I don't know who you are. I was confused. I pulled a Thanos right in her face. I don't even know who you are. I apologize. I'm here for her. And the grandma comes up and immediately rush hugs me. She says, oh my God, you're here. I said, oh, it's good. Don't worry, I'm here. I missed you. It's so good to see you. How's the animals? She told me about the cats, the dogs. And the woman who I was talking to before just looks baffled. Absolutely shook. Gobsmacked at everything she's hearing. I didn't know what was going on. I said, what's happening? Have we met before? She said, you don't remember? We were talking for like 2 weeks. And I said, oh, that's out of my memory. That got Thanos snapped. That got annihilated. That memory is sucked from my brain. It's gone. It's plunged out. I didn't know what was going on. I apologize. I just assumed that you thought that you knew me. But we did know each other, but that was so short it barely recollected in my mind because I didn't consider it a core memory. I apologize. This woman, though, is an amazing piece. And she's thinking, I'm pretty sure she's thinking I'm trying to get back at her. Maybe trying to mentally mess with her mind, trying to get inside of her head. I don't know what's going on, but I do know one thing. I know that I'm not trying to do any of that. I'm just trying to have fun with this woman who is changing the core of my life and teaching me so much. So we have dinner, and the girl I was talking to previously, the granddaughter, is having a mental breakdown, a pure panic attack. She's shaking and shivering like a dog in the rain. She don't know what's going on. She's like, oh my goodness, why is he here? I don't know what's going on. I said, it's okay, listen, I'll leave. And then the grandma says, don't worry about that. The grandma looks at her and says, girl, calm down. I'm like, whoa, got some bass in her voice, some tone in it, some Tyrone in it, one might say. I don't know what's happening. It's crazy. I said, well, guess I'll just enjoy my free meal because she was paying for me. She has $300K. Life is good for me. And so we still, to this day, have this very off and on friendship where she informs me about her life randomly and I tell her about what's going on right now. And sometimes friendship appears in the unlikeliest of places. I have clapped this old lady's cheek 76 times. It has been vicious and wild. Haven't clapped it in recent years. I've been with a woman the past few years, but by all means, during the time of that, I learned so many skills, techniques. I leveled up exponentially. That was power leveling in the bedroom, one might say. You thought I was going to end this story without letting you know about that? Man, I was going gobble-gomp in there, and it was outstanding. Did you know when you hit menopause, your lower labia could just disappear? Didn't know that. Makes it a bit tighter in there. Didn't know that was going on. Life was great. And it's free eats, pure Twinkie factory inside of there. You can just go boom, 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 boom. No babies. Life is great. It was great. We're still friends though. Life is good. Life is good. Life is good.
I'm your Nick at night, be my Laura, please low. Ooh, happy to try what you need. Your world, I love to live in it. Ooh, I love the ride when you're free.